watching Dermot play live, and because of that, we're going to do a little Q&A now, and I'd really love it if you just keep the chatter to a minimum. We'd really appreciate it. We've got a few questions. There's a pin drop. Could hear a pin drop in that performance. How was that for you, Dermot?
Brilliant, yeah, I loved it, honestly, thank you. Yeah, it means the world. I don't know, you spend an awful lot of time on these songs and the lyrics and stuff like that, so when a room like this kind of is with you, it goes from here to here, truthfully. Yeah.
These incredibly small and intimate venues for you as well must be really special with the architecture and the 3 levels of crowd.
Yeah, but I'm always kind of determined not to. We did a tour in the autumn that was small venues, you know, and it was like an intimate thing, and I'm always very determined to not call it small, because at one point I would have killed somebody to do that, you know?
Absolutely, starting out as you did with the busking. So, first of all, new record out in just a handful of days, Weight of the Woods. What can you tell us about the making of the record, where you recorded it, anything you'd like to tell us?
Yeah, I just care deeply about it. I feel like I'm at a point now where it's album 3, and, you know, the first one was such a novelty, the second one I put so much pressure on myself, and now I feel kind of free from both of those things, and it feels like a lovely spot to be in, because I'm just not worried about the outcome, you know, like I think making it was the beautiful thing, and that's already happened, and now I get to share it with people, and so I should just be content with that, so we'll see what happens, yeah.
Yes, I'm in a handful of days, and I know there's some very special tracks that are extra tracks as well. We've heard like 3 tracks from the album so far, haven't we? But there's a few extra special ones on the bonus.
There's a couple, yeah, and they'll all end up in the same place anyway, so if anyone thinks I'm trying to rinse it with like 4 different vinyls, they'll all go to the same thing. So, yeah, you just have to wait about 6 months or something. But, yeah, there's a song called Stockholm that we played for years live, and it was always this like live-only thing. And I was very nervous about recording it because I thought I wouldn't necessarily capture that energy live, but I think we did in the end, so yeah.
I'm sure you've done it justice. So we have some questions from your fans. Are you ready for some questions from your fans? Is Heather Young in the building? Doesn't seem to tonight. She's probably in another one. Oh, she could be in later. Who knows? Right, Heather Young has asked you, what is the most unexpected thing you've gained from your career?
The most unexpected thing I've gained? I don't know, I think everything, you know, I think when you get into having a career in music, you expect it to be a certain way. And you're just surprised constantly, not even in a negative way, it's just you can't necessarily predict how it's going to feel. And I think for me, I think I'm surprised how much of it how much goes into putting on a tour or putting a record together. Like if we go on tour later this year, it'll be 40 of us, 50 of us, and it's just, there's a huge amount of work goes into it. And I think, yeah, I don't know, I've been humbled by it, you know, I think before I had a career in music, it was definitely like a naive kind of arrogance to me, definitely. And having gotten in now, I'm just, you know, everybody is so kind of talented, and I don't know, there's enough space for everybody, so I would say I've been humbled by it, yeah.
I can imagine. It's such an important thing, though, having the right team around you.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you worked again with Gabe on this, Gabe Simon again on this record, didn't you? How hard has it been to find the right people to kind of sit with you through the different elements, the live, the recording, the writing?
Yeah, it's been tricky. I think you're looking for somebody who cares about it as much as you do, you know, and I think for me, I think when you tour as much as we did for, say, 7-8 years, you can obviously become burnt out, but you can become exhausted with your love for music, and you can kind of get to a point where it just feels like it's not the most important thing in the world. And working with Gabe was magic because it just gets back to that point where you want to just work until 3 or 4 in the morning, and every little decision feels like the most important thing in the world. So yeah, it was a lovely process.
You talked about live. Live has been such an important thing from the beginning. I mean, it must have felt relentless for you after Solder. Was it kind of refreshing and cathartic to go home, to write again, to get back to making music?
I took a break from it, yeah. I don't know, I wouldn't say I've played to people forever, but I think at one point I definitely felt like if I was announcing a gig here for the sort of 5th time in 2 years, it's just, you need to get out of people's face at some point, you know? It's just too much. I think, and like, if you add into that social media and how much you kind of push your careers nowadays, it's just, you have to go away sometimes, I think, for your own sake and for everybody else as well.
Having a bit of normal life.
Yeah, as normal as you can get it, you know.
So Sophie Lewis has asked a question as well as Sophie in the house. I'm going to stop asking that question. Sophie Lewis has asked a question. What's your favourite venue you've ever played in? And we won't hold you to saying this venue tonight.
It's beautiful. Favourite venue I've ever played? I don't know. I mean, if it's a bigger show, I normally psych myself out and then don't have a good time. Does that make sense? So it kind of, not as like I don't have a bad time, but it's just I don't enjoy it as much as the rest. It feels quite blurry. And so I've had something, like I remember we played Hammersmith Apollo in London, and I couldn't get my head around it at all. It was the biggest thing in my life at the time, and I couldn't enjoy it. And then we played Rock City in Nottingham the next day, and I had the best gig I've ever had. And it was just, there wasn't many people there, but it was just, I felt relaxed, you know, so that's usually what determines it for me. But favourite venue, I don't know, there's a place called King's Theatre in Brooklyn in New York. They had these 5 wonder cinemas after the World War in New York in each borough, and it's one of them. That was beautiful.
And Rob Cole has asked a really interesting question about storytelling. It's a big part of your music, and as a storyteller, do you wish to kind of get across a specific story that you've created to the listener with your music, or do you wish for people to kind of apply their own meaning and interpretations within your songs?
I think I would generally want people to take their own meaning from it. I think sometimes I'm reluctant to talk about songs too much because I'm not trying to impress my meaning upon people or like force people to think about it the way I do. I think, you know, like the reason you share music is so people can find themselves in it, and so I think it's important to let people do their own thing.
I mean, there's a lot of nature wrapped around this new record, the weight of the woods and the artwork and the kind of spring release, as well as the green vinyl, which looks very attractive. I know you've all ordered yours already. Was it really important to you to get the aesthetic to match the sound?
Definitely. If those things don't go hand in hand, you're not doing your job. Do you know what I mean? If you're trying to invite people into a certain world and write songs that create certain images and certain colours and stuff, it has to all be consistent. It's the same as the show when you go on tour and stuff. It has to all be the same way. Yeah.
Talk us through the album artwork.
I don't want to get too specific. It's basically an island in the middle of a lake in Ireland, and there's a very, very ancient temple on there, and it's this old ruin, and we found this place, and so that's where I'm from.
Okay, and the power and energy of nature in Ireland is clearly something that you're really kind of resonating and in touch with on this new record. How does it actually affect you? How does nature kind of improve your life?
I think it's always been very important to me. I think, especially growing up, it was the main source of inspiration for me. So, and it's you know, like it's always been a part of my life in terms of lyrics and stuff like that. So, yeah, where I grew up is a very beautiful area, kind of landscape-wise, and I think Ireland has tons of it. So, it's been important for me, definitely. Yeah, and it's weird because doing this, you're just in cities constantly, and so I need to detach sometimes. Yeah.
You're missing it now.
I do miss it. Yeah, I think it's a certain part of my body. You know, when you're just not fully comfortable, I need to go there quite a bit. But sure, we all know.
Oh, Dermot, you are an absolute legend. The record is out in a handful of days. Are you as excited as I am? Yes. Put your hands together again for the incredible Dermot Kennedy.